friends. I am still here, even though I have not been here. I have been deep in the trenches of parenthood, which started with the little guy getting an upper respiratory infection and needing neb treatments and running a fever. And then as things happen when you live with other people and have other children, those germs have spread through our house. And somewhere there's a lesson in that. And I believe the lesson has to do with surrendering to the what is and not being tied up in the doing or the being. And really, for me, it's about releasing the attachment to the practices because the practices are, right, they're important, but they are not the entire path. And so learning how to stay grounded and stay anchored in my heart when I cannot pour as much time into my devotional practices as I would like. There is also this, right, like attachment to the doing in terms of, right, really being forced to slow down, where all weekend I just could barely function because I had caught said germs and feeling really vulnerable in that place because I like to be busy and I like to be productive and that's a part of me that is not just ingrained capitalism, right? Like that's the air likes to be in motion and the fire is results oriented. And so to sort of be forced into rest when I would rather be doing. And I have things I want to be accomplishing and feeling like there are projects that I want to get done, and having had this attachment that this was the year my little guy was going to go to kindergarten and I was going to finally have space to create. And what has happened instead is I've had a lot of kids being home and not a lot of space to myself, which is really tricky when you're an airy person. And it's learning to be okay with that because divine timing is always perfect, right? It's not my timeline, it's the divine timeline. And I think if the recent writing going viral has taught me anything, it's right. It's that the divine timing is always better than anything I could imagine. Because if that writing piece had gone viral when I submitted it like a year and a half ago, it would have been very much about, right, like the performance, my worth being based on that performance, right? Like my value as a writer is based on how much this piece has been shared. And now I'm in this place where I'm like, hey babe, did you see that thing the universe did? Like, isn't that crazy? Like, the universe can do anything. The universe took that piece that I submitted like a year and a half ago and blew it up on the internet. Like, I see you, universe, nudging me to write, right? And it had nothing to do with me in this space and time, other than like, oh yeah, I see you. That's right. I write. I should get back to doing that now that I, in theory, have more time to myself, which doesn't seem to be happening. But I think it's, right, it's getting these reminders that it's going to be fine, right? Like, I don't need to do anything. The path will find me. What I'm supposed to be doing will find me. And maybe I don't need to create new stuff. Maybe I just need to organize my old stuff, right? Like, maybe I don't need to write a new book. Maybe I can submit a collection of essays because I have plenty of those, right? And if that's what's going viral on the internet, well, then maybe that's the road to go down. I don't know. we don't ever know. We pretend we know, but we don't, right? It's all this illusion of control. We want to feel like we have some say, that we have some control, and we do, in the sense that we attract everything, right? That's that law of attraction, that everything is happening, that happens to us, that we have attracted to us, and so we do have the power to change it, but it all starts with the internal stuff. So yeah, it's all interesting, and it's all fascinating, and right now it's me doing a lot of surrender, to what is going on. Is that I'm a mom who has 2 kids who have been sick, and it's been like 2 weeks of people not sleeping, of being clingy, of everybody needing rest, of needing to sanitize this entire house, maybe spiritually cleanse it, blast out all this interference energy, right? Like, having small kids is hard. Early parenting is hard. So just embracing that and being like, okay, well, maybe I'm not gonna show up in the other ways that I expected to be showing up right now, and maybe that's okay, right? Maybe I'm not gonna have any clients in the month of October, beyond the ones I'm doing, and maybe that's okay, right? Because maybe this isn't the right time, and it's trusting that the universe knows what it's doing, that what we're co-creating will make sense, and it doesn't need to make sense in this moment. And so it's doing the work around the scarcity. I definitely have some time scarcity, right? And this is all kicking up in my face, and it's kicking up for me to work through it, right? And to trust that when I surrender, and when I hand it over to the universe and I say, you figure out my schedule, right, that it'll flow, instead of getting overwhelmed about the possibility of overwhelm, which is the thing that my air likes to do, right? Like, I am overwhelmed that my schedule is going to be overwhelming. I'm not actually in my schedule that day yet, but looking at it, yeah, that's definitely going to feel overwhelming. And it doesn't need to. If I could get into that trust space, and I could do it when I worked in corporate America. I just handed my schedule off to the universe, and the universe sorted it out. And all I had to do was be present with the person I was with, and they needed the amount of time they needed, and then it all worked out. And it's replicating that in my everyday life, right? Like, you learn the thing, and then you forget, and then you have to